Hey everybody, it's Sunday, April 14th, 2024. Emily and I just got back from visiting with her parents and her brother. Woods, glad you made it home safely. Obviously, we made it home safely because we're here, but the point to this is the day we left, we knew we were going to get some rain. What we didn't know is we were going to get 11 inches of rain in about 12 hours. We started getting texts and phone calls from friends, making sure we were all right, but just seeing if there's any damage out here. And you guys have probably no idea where we're at on the property. This is the farthest south point of the property. And back there is where the beaver dam's at. So Emily's got a camera that's probably a foot at least underwater, if not 2 or 3 feet underwater back there. Old Lloyd Road goes back over here. Friends sent us photographs of water over Old Lloyd Road. This is now 4 days later, and this is where the water's at. If you've seen in previous videos, this is that washout area that I keep saying I need to try to fix, and I had put the logs down in here trying to fix it. Well, this is about a, 1.5 foot little washout as far as depth that goes right down there. And again, that's where the beaver dam is. We've got a burn pile over here that we cannot even get to because it is in the water. And then if you look up this way, the good news is it didn't wash out much more, but when the pond does overflow, it overflows here and then it comes over this way, and a lot of the water works its way down here is what we've finally figured out after these massive rainstorm. So kind of the good news. Let's go up and talk about the bad news. Now, part of the bad news is that before we left, Emily had haired all this up, so tilled it up. We put down about $150 worth of grass seed, and we had put grass straw over this. We had been watering it for 3 or 4 days, and the reason why we did it is we knew there was rain coming. But again, we didn't know there was 11 inches of rain that was coming in 12 hours. So pretty sure our grass seed all got washed away. Good news is grass seed's going to look really good back here by the live oak once it starts coming in. But now we just got to kind of wait and see where it went and then try to fill in patches. But a lot of work got washed away in one storm. But that's still not the worst of it. So heading up to the front. Up here by the service entrance, here's that first, this is the culvert we had to raise. This was not the first culvert I put in, but this is the one that we had to raise. The other side looks great, but there was so much water, I guess, coming out of this that you can see how much it blew out and kind of eroded there. So we're gonna have to get a couple buckets of dirt, try to fill that in. Maybe try to put some rocks or riprap in there. There was a small hole here, but it was about that big. So this thing easily quadrupled in size with the storm. Kind of disappointed we weren't here to see it. But again, this isn't the worst part. We're up here at the main entrance to the property. And this is the storm ditch for the neighborhood. I just weed-eated all this before we left. Grass was getting kind of high, but it looks great here. But with the amount of water coming down here, just like the video before, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Well, this is part 2. You can see that one culvert, even though it's a 18-inch culvert, could not handle the amount of water coming down that storm ditch. So it jumped the ditch or the culvert and washed out our driveway again. See, I've got a lot of gravel or crushed concrete road base back in there that I now have to use the box blade, go grab it, drag it back up here and try to smooth out our driveway so it's not chitty chitty bang bang while we go down to the barn. Haven't even looked over here yet. I'm assuming all this turned out great. This is where the neighborhood had the big cleanup, and we removed the culvert that had collapsed that was put in probably 20 years ago. Again, we had that neighborhood cleanup. We all came down here. Adam was nice enough to bring his excavator, and he dug out that culvert, which obviously turned out really good and didn't really hold much water. But I just have a feeling when it gets down there, you can see where it probably jumped here and here because of all the stuff that's washed down that way, debris-wise. Either way, I'm gonna hop on the tractor, put on some music, see if I can fix my driveway. Fast forward several days, I did get the box blade up there and smooth that out the best I can. Waiting on Ed to bring out some more crushed concrete. He's had some issues getting concrete. So he said he should be back up and running here in another 2 or 3 weeks. So either way, progress down here. We did also pick up 2 antique doors while we were down visiting Emily's parents. This is the antique door that Emily is currently stripping that will be the entry door to her office. So nothing like a side project during a big project. But either way, we'll have some video on doing that. Coming up here, I've been busy all week. I did get the flooring finished. So let me zoom out here. Got the flooring done. Got some of the baseboards down. Obviously got the doors hung and framed out. So they look really good. We ended up with using 2x6 of cedar here. That way when they're closed, if you use just a 1x4 or whatever to trim it out, you wouldn't see the cedar when it's closed. So this way you see the cedar when it's open and when it's closed. So it turned out great. It's starting to heat up pretty good up here. So we have used the AC a few times, but kind of defeats the purpose not having a door, but it does help. The other thing we got done today is we got the plywood, some birch plywood to do her desktop. So we glued and screwed 2 3/4-inch pieces of birch together. You're gonna ask, why'd you waste birch for a backer piece? It's because it was $42 a sheet and regular plywood at Lowe's was like 50 bucks. So we found a place that had this for $42 a sheet and it was just easier to do that. Other than that, we gotta flip it over. Emily's ordered some trim. Obviously got the window framed out a while ago, but I don't know if I've done an update on that. Gonna use birch plywood up here to make shelves, and then I gotta trim out the windows in cedar, whether I glue it or screw it, I don't know. And then do basically the crown molding up there, which is nothing more than the 1x4 of cedar down here, which we've already got one piece of it up there. So even though we've taken a few steps back here at Deer Run Farm with the weather, we've made several steps forward.